Hello and welcome for our first match with what Rich Shea has called Knight's Whisper Control Slaver, and so I will as well. I actually really like that name just for its naming convention. It tells you exactly what the strategy is and what the unique card of the deck is. So, Knight's Whisper Control Slaver, match 1, we're on the draw. We have one land and a bunch of incredibly expensive cards and a Phantom Underground Sea. We're going to mulligan this one. Even though we have a Force of Will, there's no real guarantee that we get to play any Magic after that. So here, similar, but we have the ability to, if we draw any mana source, Merchant Scroll for Ancestral, and start playing Magic. So I think that's where things are going to begin. And fortunately we do draw a mana source. And so we can scroll for Ancestral. Pass back and hope that they don't have some sort of brainstorm. The end step brainstorm is tough. So like I think that they would have duressed on turn 1 if they had one. And they could reasonably kill us. So I'd rather just misstep and hope that they don't have whatever it is that they're looking for on the top of their deck. Okay, so they're Oath. So we're going to Ancestral ourselves. If we get misstepped, we're just dead. Oh, wait, no. We drew misstep. That's cool. Haha. Okay, so downside is we don't really have a way to stop their Gristlebrand from entering play. Which means that we are probably dead. So yeah, I just think that we're better off icing or vampiricking. So like, what can we... Let's look at what we can vampiric for. That answer... Oh, we can vampiric for Baleful Strix. That's good. So we get Baleful Strix, and Oh, they hit Blightsteel Colossus. That is interesting. Mostly because I was not expecting... I was expecting a Gristlebrand. Which is why I cast it before they could put it into play and then draw 7 or 14 to hit a mental misstep. But yeah, our ice is way better than I thought. So... I'm not really sure what they could be demonicking for. Maybe Dragon's Breath? But we can ice their Blightsteel and hope to draw a red source at some point. And if we draw a red source, then we can steal their Blightsteel with deck. I'm not sure why you would block there if you're him. I mean, like, we could just be dead. Okay, so they demonicked for Ancestral. We get a dude. They don't get an Oath trigger because of Blightsteel Colossus blocking. We're going to ice their Colossus before they can draw a Force of Will. If they have Drain, then we lose. Okay. So we draw another Dak Faden. We can still survive here, which is kind of fascinating. Like, even if we don't draw a red source. Yeah. Black, blue. Okay, so we can Demonic for Lotus and leave Sapphire untapped and get out of this. We're going to leave all of our blockers back in case our opponent has a removal spell. Okay, so they hit Emrakul. Oh, we get an Oath trigger now. Like, they have to tap for... Okay, they remembered. So, if we play Dak Faden and steal Blightsteel, then we sacrifice everything but Baleful Strix and... Okay. So we have 6 permanents, 7, 8. Yeah, that seems fine. We can get another permanent for free with Demonic Tutor for a Mox. Oops. Yeah, if we Demonic for a Ruby, then... we get another permanent. Yeah, we can't Demonic for Soul Ring because that cuts off one of our colored sources. So it's just got to be exactly Mox Ruby. And then we have this Force of Will. They could have like Flusterstorm. Oh no, they can't. You can't Flusterstorm a Planeswalker. They have to have like Force plus Flusterstorm, which would be pretty sick. Or they have to have a third creature, which seems unlikely. Okay, so give me that. So do they have a third creature in their deck? Also, Baleful Strix already coming through in spades. Okay, so they steal Sabotage this. Their Brainstorm's already gone. Do they have a way to discard it? Their Yawgmoth's Will is also already gone. They could have, like, Memory's Journey, I suppose. Oh, we have to block, and then they get to Oath it again. So we sacrifice here, 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 and probably here. We want Welder. Yeah, okay, we're just dead. We certainly put up a valiant fight. But yeah, they're gonna get their Emrakul back. So we want these Grafdigger's Cages for sure. Now that we know that they're on Blightsteel Emrakul, things actually get kind of easier because they just get a creature as opposed to like a gigantic flying draw engine that like lets them peel 14 and kill us. So like I think things have just improved. We're gonna get these Pyroblasts in here. I don't know how I feel about Mindslaver now that I know that like what they're gonna oath up is just a gigantic dude that does nothing. So I think I don't want that. And Strix is obviously incredible. Fire Ice is great as well. So the real question is whether Misstep is good and whether Pyroblast is good. I think that they're a blue deck in Vintage, so Pyroblast has to be good. And Misstep is also probably fine. So the question is whether we want Dak as an answer to Blightsteel, or whether that does anything at all. I think we want Nile. This is just tough. Like, we have to cut something. I'm just not sure what it's supposed to be. We can probably cut Drain. Like, the Fire Ices are kind of redundant when we have Dak Vaden, and I think I would rather have Dak than Fire Ice, so I think that this is actually just how it's supposed to be. You can't Flusterstorm an Oath, so why bother? And the One of Nile is fine since they have Yawgmoth's Will and Emrakul to shuffle stuff back in. So, I think this is just our deck. Our Tinker is really weak. I'm not really sure, like, how we win with Cage in play. Just takes forever, and Cage shuts off our Yawgmoth's Will. And I have 20 seconds left. I guess we probably want Slaver over Battlesphere, because Battlesphere doesn't block Emrakul, and Slaver gets around Cage. Okay, well, definitely keeping this one, and hoping that our opponent has a slow start. Library is phenomenal in blue matchups, and we just have a handful of counter magic. So we have an entire plan in our opening hand, right? We have our Dry Engine and all the counters that we could reasonably ask for. Wait, they're playing a 62-card Oath deck? I'm guessing that that was a mistake of sideboarding. Now that you can sideboard more cards in, I just noticed. Okay, so not playing our Mox, ideally not forcefulling anything. If they have like Landmox Oath, obviously we have to force. I'm fine letting this Brainstorm resolve, since all we really want to do is get to 7 and draw a card. Like, the value add of misstepping their Brainstorm is not worth the value loss of not being able to activate Library next turn. Only something that will for sure kill us is worth countering on this turn. Yep, they can play all of the artifact mana that they desire. So I don't even think it's worth playing a land here. Like, we have 3 counters in our hand. They have 3 cards in their hand. Like, I'm not worried about anything that they're doing, and if we play something, then playing a second counter, or playing the first counter, takes us out of library range. Yeah, I'm fine letting them time walk here. There's like, they cycled it. They're not accruing any sort of advantage. So we're going to activate this on our upkeep. Ooh, no, we weren't supposed to activate it then. That was ugly. Strip mine their Forbidden Orchard. I have to assume they're going to give us a spirit so that they have an out in case they draw Oath. Also, happily Pyroblasting any blue instant they happen to play. Also, happy to discard this Mindslaver. We aren't really going to need to thirst for knowledge for value for any time in the near future, and this library is just going to win us the game on its own. So we kind of have a premium on mana. So now we get to move to librarying on their end step, which is, I think, better. Like, we have lands to play, and we just get to consistently improve our hand, which has 4 counters in it right now. So force hit pitching misstep. Pyroblast their Swan Song. And now hopefully we can hit an artifact among all of the cards that we could be drawing here. Okay, so we get to discard this Sapphire. And slowly but surely work our way back toward activating Library after having our big showdown, which we won because Library of Alexandria is broken. So gonna play Cage here. And Cage only cares about creatures, so obviously we can weld Mindslaver in and out. We can't Yawgmoth's Will, but sort of doesn't really matter. Because we have this sweet library that is doing things. So playing Nile isn't really a commitment. It just makes our Tolarian Academy better. And we can crack a Scalding Tarn for an Underground Sea and redraw off of it if we want. Okay, so I think we want to win the game with Jace. So we're going to draw this, and then, so we could play it. Yeah, I like playing it. Brainstorm first, since we've got two cards that we don't really want. And we shuffled our deck with the Scalding Tarn, so we get 3 fresh ones. We hit cards that we like, and I don't think there's a compelling reason to play anything from our hand. But yeah, just by pointing your counters at their action instead of their mana, I think it's pretty easy to realize significant gains in spots where you have a ton of counters. So, activate this upkeep, get another Underground Sea, draw off of library. They're basically dead at this point. Like, they've got nothing going on. They're going to shuffle with Misty, since we Fate Sealed to the top. We can just Demonic for mana drain. Oh, we cut mana drain. Okay, we can Demonic for I guess just Welder, right? Like, do we get to add another counter to our hand? We don't. Yeah, just Welder. Don't want to cast Welder this turn, since we want to hold our Pyroblast up. But yeah, we should have tapped C there. But I thought we had Mana Drain in our deck. Not really worried about it, because it turns out that, like, there aren't a ton of ways that we could lose this one. Nope, they can have the Yawgmoth's Will. We have it covered by Cage and Spellbomb. And now we can cast Welder and start welding out Spellbomb and drawing a card off of it and activating Mindslaver, just wrecking him. I think I missed a library draw. It really just doesn't matter at this point. Like, our opponent is not going to beat 4 counter spells. Yeah, that's a good one. So they have Yawgmoth's Will and a fatty and something else in hand. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they have exactly Emrakul. Otherwise they could, I mean, if they cast Blightsteel, then like they get to Jace it. Okay. Time to have some fun. Who's ready for fun? I'm ready for fun. Also, yeah, this deck is never going to run out of stuff to do. Nope, they can have the Tinker. So we just like cast their Tinker, cast their Yawgmoth's Will, destroy their Lotus and their Soul Ring, and leave them with nothing. So that is how you play a control deck when you have Library of Alexandria in your opening hand. You value it very, very highly, and you set up for a massive counter war that you're definitely going to win. And then, as soon as possible, you get back on the Library of Alexandria train, and you get like 4 counters in your hand, and then you win with something. Doesn't really matter what. You just win. So, yeah, the more I've been thinking about it, the more I dislike Fire Ice in this matchup, even with Blightsteel, because they have Emrakul. Mere Battlesphere would have been good literally never. And so yeah, I think that Mana Drain is probably fine. I think that Slaver is better than I was giving it credit for. I probably don't want both decks. And we'll go like this. Also, Vintage is an incredibly intricate format. There are so many decisions. I love it. This looks very good. Nope, we'll keep. So we finally get to see Night's Whisper, which is awesome, because we're going to play 2 of them on our first turn. So this is a game where we're probably going to want to set up Yawgmoth's Will. Oh, please, please, come on. Please with this. Oh, come on! My God. Well. We can actually win with our current holdings, because Jace the Mind Sculptor is a monster. Please don't, like, flip over Dragon's Breath. Oh, come on! This is absurd. Yeah, I mean, that was their best draw. I don't think that there was anything we could have done differently. Good God, though. Channel? Jeez. Show me Baleful Strix. I would like to use the ability. A welder. That's good. Oh, right on time. Right on time. Well, that was a nutty way to lose the game, but that's vintage for you folks. I'll be right back.